Located on 225 acres in Garden City, Long Island, Nassau Community College, a member of the State University of New York system, has close to 20,000 students attend the school each year. The college mascot is Leo the Lion, and these are his stories of the school's absolute best and brightest who have graduated over the past 50-plus years. So let's catch up together as the Alumni Association of Nassau Community College proudly presents Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome to Lion Tales. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and I serve as a director on the alumni board at Nassau Community College, and I'm a proud graduate. I'm usually present with my fabulous friend Aurora Workman. However, today I will be flying solo. Each week, Aurora and I will introduce you to our alumni interested in sharing their experiences while attending the college and the secrets to their success. On behalf of the Alumni Association, we suggest everyone check out ncc.edu/alumni as it offers information on everything related to life on campus, from student life to fundraising. We really do have it all. Look for many new and exciting events on the Alumni Association social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and our web pages at ncc.edu/alumni. If you, our listening audience, has any positive news you would like to share about alumni happenings, we would love to hear from you, so email us at ncc.edu/alumni. So today's guest is Orlandina Balan, and she is class of 1995. Orlandina is the owner and founder of The Fitter Woman, a holistic health and wellness company. Orlandina believes in finding one's health via the mind, body, and spirit. As an educator for more than 21 years, her experience training as a professional women's physique athlete in the IFBB and her certification as an integrative nutrition health coach, she has created amazing inclusive wellness programs. Her new show on Strong Island Television is called Muscles and Stilettos. Welcome to Lion Tales, Orlandina Balan, class of 1995.
Good morning.
Good morning. So tell us about your decision to attend Nassau Community College.
Well, I was 16 when I graduated high school, so going away to school was not an option. So I actually went around, I checked local colleges, and I really liked what Nassau had to offer. I was enrolled in their honors connection program, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I had Dr. Carol Farber as a counselor, and she was phenomenal. So,
and so we were talking a little bit, in subsequent shows about favorite professors and people that were here that really stood out for you. Who were some of those people?
For me, Dr. Saltpeter. He was like the quintessential teacher. He'd come in, chalk, a can of Coke, and he would just start talking. He knew his topic. He made it funny. He made it a lot of fun. And the other one was Dr. John J. Tucker. He was really the one that created this love of writing and really took his time to cultivate that in me. And I will always be forever thankful, because who knew at that time that I was going to become a writer and a poet, and how much writing I would have to do. Because of him, I always continued with writing, even when it was no longer a class that I needed. So even when I left Nassau and went on to the American University, I continued to take writing classes, and I will always remember him for that.
When upon graduation from Nassau, you became a motivational speaker. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
That journey was quite circuitous. I actually graduated and went on into teaching, and I went through a major shift in my life. I was going through a divorce and really needed a way to focus. And so I started to work out and train. And as I trained, I would have people come to me every once in a while saying, you should really compete. After some time, I said, you know what, let me go check out a show. I checked out a show and loved it and decided that I wanted to compete. So in preparing for competition, I earned my pro card rather quickly. That was what that's really what sparked everything. When I earned my pro card, I'm like, I earned this pretty quick. And it can't just be because of this card. There has to be more to it. Mm-hmm. And I realized that in the process of doing this, I became stronger, yes, physically, but also mentally, emotionally. I became more confident. And I said, well, if this can happen for me, this can happen for others. And I just kind of began, sharing my story by writing about it, doing blogs, posting on Instagram and Facebook, and it just began to grow, and I began talking about it. First with my students, talking to them about being their best selves and, just really taking pride in their work. And they would always say to me, you should become a motivational speaker. I'm like, I'm here to motivate you. But my students were the first ones to say that. And I would begin speaking, and I, would talk to people, and they would say, hey, come to this group, come to that group. And it just began to grow. And I began to hear, I really connected to what you had to say. Your story matches my story. And I said, well, you know what? I want to continue to do this because I'm a teacher. I was born to be a teacher. That is my gift. That is my craft that God put me on this earth to do. So not only do I teach my students mathematics, I also teach them to believe in themselves. So I said, I'm going to continue to do that with the adults. Teach them to believe in themselves. Teach them how to take good care of their body. So that's how it began.
And then once you were given that feedback, and when you realized that our bodies were sacred temples and they must be treated as such.
I was reading a passage one day, and I saw in the Bible, and it said, your body is God's temple. And I said, you know what? If you really walk in your life and you think about it that way, there are things that you won't allow your body to go through. You won't treat it well, because when we walk into a temple or any house of worship, we walk into it with reverence. We speak with reverent words. We sing beautiful words. We surround ourselves with good people, but we don't treat our bodies that way. So if we think about it, in every decision that we make, my body's a sacred temple. I'm not going to eat just anything. I'm not going to drink just anything. I'm not going to allow myself to be in the company of people who are not positive, because this is a sacred temple. You begin to treat yourself as the precious person that you are. So.
Absolutely. And I think people need to be reminded of that, because sometimes it's not sort of a self-loathing type of issue, but it can become that because whatever you're thinking affects your physical extremities as well.
Correct.
And what about, the IFBB? Can you tell us what that stands for and a little bit about that?
So IFBB is the International Federation of Bodybuilding, and it is an organization that oversees fitness and bodybuilding competitions all over the world. So when you compete as an athlete, you start off in this region, it's called the NPC, and you start off as an amateur, you compete, and if you do well, you can qualify for nationals. If you do well on the national level, you compete and qualify for a pro show, and if you compete and you do well, then you get your pro card and you become a professional bodybuilder. And then the goal at that point is to get onto the Olympia stage, which is Olympia or the Arnold, which is held in March. And that is like the quintessential competition that everybody wants to get to.
I know mostly about it because of, obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger, because that was the first, experience that I've ever had seeing it live. Yes. You are listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Orlandina Balan, owner and founder of The Fitter Woman, a holistic health and wellness company. So we were talking about the Olympia and how you evolved to that. So what are your experiences doing that? How far did you get in that?
I haven't gotten to the Olympias yet.
Yes, good, but you will. Yeah.
But I will. My goal is to get there. I've competed. I've won certain shows, but now I injured myself, so I had to stop competing for about 3 years. So I'm coming back. I competed last season with a new coach, and we did really well. So now the goal is to always surpass your best. And that's the thing, like when you go into competition, you really are not trying to compete against other people, because everybody's different. Everybody has certain qualities in their physique that you don't have, but you have certain qualities in your physique that they don't have.
Right.
So your job is to always get back onto that stage looking better than you did last season. The last thing the judges want to see is the same body or even worse. So your job is to just come up there and just say, hey, I've done better and better and better. And every year I told my coach, told him last year, and I told him that again this year, I'm going to win. And that's the way I go into it.
Are there categories in which they judge you?
Yeah, so we have different divisions: bikini, figure, and for me, women's physique, and then you have bodybuilding. And each division has certain things that they look for. So in women's physique, we're like smaller bodybuilders. We don't have as much muscle mass. And they're looking for proportions, meaning does your upper body match the lower body? Conditioning, meaning how lean did you get? How much musculature can they see? But the other thing that they look at is your presentation. So when you're walking on the stage, are you smiling? Are you confident? What is it that you're presenting? And when you do your different poses or turns, they're looking for the balance in your structure. They're looking for your quad development, your glutes, your back. So yeah, when you get to that level, you are going against the best of the best. And so the judges are just looking for just little fine details that you bring on. So it's a complete package.
And it sounds like it's almost like a competition in which you have to have an element of creativity because the way you stand or pose is part of who you are.
Correct.
So how do they measure that? Do you know how they assess that?
For women's physique, it's one of the few categories where you get to do a posing routine. Okay. So this is where you really get to shine and really, yes, your personality gets to show, but there's also an opportunity for the judges to see you some more. So it is really in your presentation because, like you said, all the poses are the same, but everybody's body is different. So when you get into these poses, one person can outshine another. They'll tell you, a good poser can outshine a great body. So if you know how to showcase the best possible features, that is what helps to push you forward.
Yeah. And how many women are involved with IFBB at this point?
You know what? I don't know the numbers. There's a lot of us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us.
Really, it's great because I think that, you always think bodybuilding and weightlifting was, just a man's world,
Correct.
but now it's sort of branching out into, everyone can really be a part of it. What about students, children that, I've heard that some 10-year-olds are doing weightlifting and they're strength training, but it may not be as good for their body because the body's still growing.
Yes.
So how does that
The research
work?
shows that it's not really good for a child to start strength training at such a young age. And honestly, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
You just need to get your children to go outside and play. That's what it is. Go outside and play, go have fun, move your body. There's no need for you to go and pick up a weight. When you are doing what I do in terms of professional bodybuilding, you're going into it with the mindset of creating a physique. There's a whole program that goes into it. And as an adult, you can handle that. But children, I don't agree with it. Children should just be outside playing. They can do different sports, soccer, basketball, whatever the case may be. But strength training is not one of them. It's not necessary.
And what about running and jogging for a bodybuilder? Do they promote you doing other activities while you're training, or just focus on building muscle and actually having your physique built?
Some bodybuilders just focus on bodybuilding. They don't do any other sports. I do, because I feel like I move better because you're doing the same movement, your muscles get tight. So I practice and actually study MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, which is sticks, open hand combat, because I like to be able to use my strength in a functional way, and it allows me to maintain my flexibility. I haven't been on the mats in a couple months, but I'm getting back.
Yeah, and even with the stretching every day that they say how important that is, and you do feel better. I only did a yoga class once, and I was surprised that after the one class, the next few days, I felt better.
Absolutely.
Even though I really didn't know what I was doing.
And it's okay. Like when you go to yoga classes, especially really good yoga studios, you can come in at any point, beginner, never saw yoga before, and a good yoga studio will help you to move and push through and transition. Yeah. There's no one movement that I don't think you should be just doing one thing, because the body was not made to do that. So I think you should explore different types of movements. Go dancing, take a belly dancing class, or pole whatever the case may be. Belly dancing,
too.
It's getting popular.
And see, then they won't care if you have a belly because they won't make fun of it.
It doesn't matter, because the nicer the belly is, the more beautiful the movement is. So hey,
you are listening to Lion Tales. Today's guest, Orlandina Balan, is an educator and founder of the wellness company known as The Fitter Woman. She is a professional physique athlete in the IFBB and has created all-inclusive wellness programs. She is currently developing a deal for a show on Strong Island Television on its radio platform called Muscles and Stilettos. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and you are listening to the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when it's dry or windy. Be careful burning yard waste, because wildfires can even start in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek. Then go to giftoflife.org and request a free kit so that you can swab a cheek and save a life.
Welcome back to Lion Tales, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Dr. Lynnda Nadien, along with Aurora Workman, and our guest today is Orlandina Balan, owner and founder of The Fitter Woman. So we were speaking about the IFBB, but we were also focusing on what is going to be happening with Muscles and Stilettos. So can we talk about that a little bit?
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So I signed a deal with, shout out to Rudy Breedy.
Yeah, Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy. My show is going to be on Rudy Radio, powered by Strong Island Entertainment Network, and it's called Muscles and Stilettos. And the premise behind it is to be able to share, it's 3 parts. One part is to share fitness, nutrition, tips, and, basically coaching the people, the listeners, through their fitness journey, and sharing other fitter stories, other people that are going through the journey as well, because a lot of times people feel like they're alone in this, and you're not. The second aspect of the show is called Connections, and it's where I'm going to be bringing and interviewing people in the health and wellness community so that other people can see what services are out there to help them on their fitness journey, because you might be having a problem or struggling in an area, and there might be a professional to help you over that hump and help you on continue. And the last part is going to be called Stronger, and this is where I'm going to interview women from different backgrounds, women that are considered to be strong, and have them share their journey, share their story with other women so that they can see that none of us are alone. All of us have been through a journey, and we could share it and help one another.
And how do we equate the emotional strength and the physical strength and have that balance? How do you think women are struggling? You have a commitment to wellness for women.
Yes.
And women struggle in many, many ways, but I think a lot of women sort of keep it inside.
Yes.
So how do you balance the emotional and the physical? And is there really an answer?
I think every woman has to balance it differently for herself. I don't think there's any one cookie cutter. One of the things that I feel that we as women do not do, we don't take enough time for ourselves. And we always have a reason why. The children, the husband, the partner, the business, the this, the that. And because we don't allow ourselves just to take time, because we feel guilty. We feel guilty when we're taking time for ourselves. But what I like to remind women is, if you don't take care of yourself, everything that is dependent upon you will fall apart. So you take care of you first, get oxygen mask theory, take care of yourselves first, and believe me, everybody who's dependent on you will flourish. So it's very important. And in terms of the emotional strength, we are stronger than we know. And society has somehow put into our heads that this one is better than that woman is better than you, she looks better than you because she has certain things that they decide that is beautiful. But if we as women claim the definition of us, this is why I wear this necklace that says I claim my definition of me. You can't tell me who I am. You can't tell me who I'm going to be. You can't tell me where I'm going to go. But if we as women do that and support one another, man, the things that we can do, the places that we can go, we are stronger than we know.
And a lot of children's books have been written. We use one, and it's called I Am Enough. And on the cover of the book, the illustrator draws a little African-American girl, and her hair is pulled out. And I noticed that when the students were reading the book and sort of kind of eyeballing it a little bit, then in the next few days, they all came with their hair pulled out. And so it was a statement, because they can be who they are, but we really need to model that and not try to be something that we're not. And I know there's so much pressure on women, and you find that we're at risk for our wellness knowledge. And
yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
So there's a lot of things that we don't know because we don't talk about it as women. And somehow not somehow, but wellness professionals or doctors have taken a hold of that. Not that it's negative. You do need to be a partner with your doctor when it comes to your health. But there are questions that we don't ask when it comes to our health. a lot of times it's because we're taking care of everybody else's health and we don't take care of ourselves. A lot of women get sick like that, or they don't realize that they're sick because they're taking care of anyone. I feel tired. I just need to sleep. I feel like this. I'll ignore it and take care of everyone else. Next thing you know, you have a critical illness. So the other thing is we need to talk. You need to open your mouth. You go to your gynecologist. Don't be afraid to say, I feel this. I see this. And if you're speaking to your doctor and you're not hearing, not that you don't want to hear what you want to hear, but if you realize your doctor's not listening to you, you have to find another doctor. You have, we don't speak up enough. So when it comes to our health, we really have to be big advocates. I feel like this. No, you're not feeling that. No, I feel like this. I know my body. So that's the purpose of learning to get to know your body. Just speaking up.
And I think even when we go to medical doctors, I mean, the basis of it is assessing and diagnosing. So they assess you based on what you're telling them. Mm-hmm. And anything that we sort of hold back in the long run, it could be detrimental to our health.
Absolutely.
And I think our mental health can suffer because so much of our thinking in that way has been taboo and no one wants to hear about anxiety or depression or anything that could be coming up. So we need to sort of, I think doctors are being trained now to focus on the emotional piece and the physical and the medical part and put that all together and make a profile of their patients.
Absolutely. And that is really big for women. You know, when we hear comments like, you know, women are so emotional. You're such an emotional creature, and it's taken with a negative connotation. When in truth, it's our strength. Being emotional creatures is our strength. It's what allows us to connect to other people. It's what allows us to say, hey, what's wrong? I feel like something's wrong. That's our intuition. That is the strength and power of a woman. So now that wellness professionals and doctors are realizing that women are emotional creatures, and to take a look at that along with whatever else is going on. So this is why I talk about being treated as a whole person, not just a body. So even when you go and train, you're not just a body. Your personal trainer has to take that into consideration. What happened today? Are you stressed out about the kids? Are you stressed about work? All of it comes together.
You are listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Orlandina Balan, owner and founder of The Fitter Woman, an IFBB athlete. Orlandina is also an entrepreneur and a media personality. So you graduated in Nassau in 1995. Yeah. And now we are looking at you as an entrepreneur and a media personality. How do you feel about that?
I think it's amazing. I did not see this coming. First of all, I was like the youngest graduate at Nassau when I graduated. And just to see that I initially wanted to work for the United Nations. That was my goal.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I wanted to work for the United Nations and to go on this journey and the funny part is the United Nations, I wanted to train others how to conduct business overseas. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I've always wanted to be a teacher of some sort. I just didn't realize it. And
you are really doing a lot of teaching. You don't realize like how much that comes into it. And like going back to the early when, Jesus was a teacher.
Yes.
And he taught the disciples how to pray, and they didn't know what they were doing, and he was trying to help them. So everything evolves from the historical framework.
Yes.
And that's really what we're doing now. So sometimes I laugh because I say, well, from the very early years of civilizations, this is what we've been doing.
Sharing information.
Yeah. And then we need people that can help us do that. So we would like to thank our guest, Orlandina Balan, class of 1995. And how can our listeners contact you?
You can find me on social media. My social media handle is The Fitter Woman. You can email me at thefitterwoman@gmail.com. And you can also call me at 321-348-7966. I have a program that is starting called The Fitter Woman University, and it's for those of you that are ready to start your journey. So if you're interested, you can send me a direct message on social media. You can call me, you can text me, email me, and just all you got to do is just say, I'm ready.
Great. So we want to thank you for being with us. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, along with my fabulous friend, Aurora Workman, president of the NCC Alumni Association. Visit nassaucommunitycollege.edu/alumni for more information. Available as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. Lion Tales is powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. We'll talk with you next week here on The Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.